The colony planet of Virellia Prime was not a place for soft hearts. Its surface burned under twin suns, scorching deserts stretched into jagged mountains, and the air itself shimmered with ions that made even the hardiest human crew sneeze for hours. Yet among this harsh landscape, life thrived in strange, sometimes terrifying forms. I had been sent here as a salvage specialist. Humans, after all, are often called the galaxy's problem solvers. But I wasn't here to discover life. I was here to haul metal, repair broken comm arrays, and leave as quietly as I had arrived. That plan ended the day I found the pup. Beginning, the discovery. I had just finished patching a cracked energy conduit near the outskirts of the settlement when a whimper reached my ears. At first, I thought it was the wind catching on jagged rocks. But it persisted, soft and urgent, like the sound of someone pleading without words. Curious, I followed it to a small crevice in the rocky cliffside. There, shivering and trembling, was a tiny creature no bigger than a human child's torso. Its fur, or whatever the alien equivalent was, shone with iridescent blue and green, patterns shifting like rippling water. Its eyes were enormous, black as obsidian, reflecting the twin suns in a way that made me squint. It wasn't hostile. It wasn't even cautious. It was terrified. Crouched slowly. "Hey, it's okay," I murmured. My voice probably sounded ridiculous in the alien syllables it understood nothing of. The pup tilted its head, sniffing the air around me. I could see the ribs under its fur, the twitch of its limbs as it tried to curl away from the sun's heat. Starvation. Exposure. The little thing was on the brink. I ripped off a portion of my rations, a protein bar and some dried fruit, and extended it toward it. "Come on. You've got to eat." It hesitated. Then it lunged forward, snapping up the food in a desperate gulp. I stayed still, letting it devour every crumb, until it collapsed in exhaustion against the sand. That night, as I tried to rest in my small tent, I thought about leaving it behind. A pup, adorable, loyal, probably dangerous if it grew up untrained, was hardly my responsibility. Yet sleep eluded me. I imagined leaving it there, alone in the desert, and something in me refused. By dawn I had made my decision. Middle, training and bond. Feeding it was the easy part. Naming it was harder. I tried several names. Max, Blitz, Vega, but nothing fit. Then finally I settled on Kael, a strong, concise name that seemed to resonate with the pup. When I said it aloud, the ears perked up and its tail, or the closest equivalent, twitched. Over the next weeks, Kael became a constant presence. Its species was highly intelligent, and the pup learned quickly. It watched how I moved, mimicked my motions, and slowly began to understand basic commands. But it wasn't just training. Kael seemed to understand loyalty. When I worked on broken circuits or carried heavy crates, it would stay by my side, always alert. I could feel its gaze on every corner, every shadow, as if it knew danger before I did. The colonists noticed too. Virellia Prime was home to several alien species, each with its own strict social hierarchy. Kael's species, the Litheri, had a cultural code that honored strength, cunning and loyalty above all else. The adults, massive and fierce, typically ignored humans as weak, irrelevant. But Kael had chosen me. That choice didn't go unnoticed. Wherever I went, Kael was there. When a Litheri adult came close, Kael positioned itself between us, ears raised, body tense. A snarl, low and guttural, reverberated through its small chest, but the adult backed down. "Your pup," the settlement's trader said one day, frowning. "It obeys you. That's unprecedented." Shrugged. "Guess I feed well." The trader didn't laugh. He'd seen enough of Litheri culture to know this was remarkable. The pup wasn't just obedient. It was a protector. Middle threat emerges. It didn't take long for danger to arrive. A band of mercenaries had been tracking scavengers on Virellia Prime, looking for anything worth claiming or destroying. They arrived at the settlement at dusk, weapons drawn, eyes scanning for high-value targets. I barely had time to react. Kael growled low in its throat, its small frame vibrating with energy. When one of the mercenaries approached, Kael leaped, agile and precise, knocking him off balance before he could raise his plasma rifle. I ducked behind a crate, heart hammering. Kael was fearless, bounding between threats with a ferocity that belied its size. By the time the mercenaries realized what they were facing, Kael had disarmed two and pinned another. The remaining attackers fled. I ran to Kael, crouching beside it. Its chest heaved with exertion, but it glanced at me and wagged. Yes, wagged, its fur-patterned tail in what could only be described as pride. "You saved me," I whispered. "Now I think I might be the one who's protected." And in that moment I understood. Kael wasn't just guarding me. It was honoring me. My survival had become its purpose. Middle, the Lithari recognition. Word spread quickly. The Lithari adults came to inspect the pup. Whispers ran through the settlement like wildfire. That a pup would choose a human over its own kind was unheard of. It was an insult to the elders' authority, but also a statement of ultimate trust. Kael stood proudly beside me, stance straight and unwavering. The adults circled, sniffed the air, and then bowed slightly. Not to me, but in recognition of Kael's choice. Its loyalty commanded respect. From that day on, Kael's obedience meant I was treated differently. Where humans had been ignored, dismissed, and underestimated, I was now noticed, protected, considered. But Kael's protection came with a cost. Wherever I went, I had to move carefully. People expected me to act in line with Kael's loyalty. Mistreating it, harming others, or showing weakness could undermine the pup's reputation. Accepted it. Better a human under the watch of a fierce alien pup than a human ignored and alone. Ending. Legacy of loyalty. Months passed. Kael grew into a formidable figure. Its fur darkened, muscles rippling beneath the patterned hide. Its intelligence was uncanny. It followed commands silently, reading intent before words were spoken. I had grown too, not just in confidence but in understanding. Humans were often judged by what they could destroy or conquer. But Kael had reminded me that true power was in what you nurtured, what you protected, and the bonds you formed across species. One evening, as we watched the twin suns set over Virellia's jagged horizon, Kael rested its head on my lap. I ran my fingers along the rippling fur. "You know," I said softly, "we're kind of unstoppable together, huh?" Kael tilted its head, eyes glowing faintly in the dying sunlight. A soft growl vibrated in its chest, approval, loyalty, and something deeper. Later I would hear from other humans, other alien colonies, stories about the human who saved a pup, and how that pup became a protector so fierce that even its own species deferred to him. Kael and I became a symbol. Kindness met with loyalty, courage rewarded with trust. And it all began with half a ration, a trembling pup, and a choice to help. I had rescued Kael. But in truth, Kael had rescued me too. From obscurity, from underestimation, from the cold logic of a galaxy that often forgot mercy. Somewhere between the twin suns and the shadowed canyons, I realized humans weren't defined by strength alone. We were defined by our choices, and the bonds those choices created. Kael, the alien pup I fed, had become my shield. And together we could face anything.